Women are the majority of Americans.
We are the majority of voters.
We are the majority of grassroots volunteers and donors.
Our government should look like us.
Supermajority is a new organization for women who want to build our collective power and use it to change this country for good.
Because one of us can be dismissed.
Two of us can be ignored. But together,
We aren't just the majority.
We are a supermajority, and we are unstoppable. Let's make sure the entire country knows it.
Oh, I love it. Three of the nation's most influential activists have joined together to launch a brand new organization that aims to focus the political power of women to influence elections and shape local and national policy priorities. It's called Supermajority, as you saw, and the organization's creators join us now. The former president of Planned Parenthood, Cecile Richards, co-founder of Black Lives Matter, Alicia Garza, and executive director of the National Domestic Workers Alliance, Ai-jen Poo. Good to have you all on board this morning. Cecile, I'll start with you. You all traveled the country, and you found this, that staying home is not an option, and we all agree with that. Civic participation is totally intimidating to a lot of women. Women want to do more than resist, and women want to be in community with one another. So with that information, what are you doing with it to get women to act? What's the action?
Well, thanks, Mika. And I do think it's exciting right now that you look at every issue that's taking place in this country, whether it's teachers striking for better public schools, whether it's resisting these family separation policies, whether it was defending access to Planned Parenthood and health care across this country. Women have been at the forefront of all of that work. And every place I go, and the three of us go, the most common question that we hear is women raising their hand and saying, I want to do more. I want to do more than resist. I actually want to build the kind of country where all women have equal access to health care, to affordable, to child care, to a number of issues that we feel like have kind of been left out of the political conversation. And that's the whole idea behind Supermajority. And our goal over this next year is to bring together 2 million women in this country who we believe can really change what's happening on a number of issues that women care about everywhere.
Totally agree with you that the desire is there. How will you mobilize?
Well, I want to make sure that Alicia and Ai-jen get a chance to speak to this as well, because I think one of the things women have asked for, they want to get trained, they want to know how to actually be civically engaged, they want to make sure that their votes matter and are counted, and so we'll be doing both online and offline engagement and training for women. And the other thing I think, Mika, that so many women say is they want to know what other women are doing to be successful. Women everywhere across the country are organizing on their own, and I think Supermajority is a great opportunity to link these activists and leaders together.
So, Alicia, we saw during the midterm elections that an unprecedented number of women were elected into the House of Representatives. Is that the model that you're following? Does supermajority really mean women getting into positions of political power? What does it mean in a kind of concrete way?
Sure. Supermajority is a new home for women's activism. And what we've seen over the last 2 years at least is that 1 in 5 Americans in this country were involved in some kind of protest or resistance effort. But as Cecile said, women want to do more, and women are on fire. And so what that looks like is, of course, changing the balance of power in this country. We know that women turned out in astronomical rates in the midterm elections. And we also know that women, including and specifically Black women, really helped to change the balance of power in Congress and to elect more women of color than we've ever seen in U.S. Congress. So it is about voting, it is about elections, but it's also very much about winning on issues that we care about. We are moving forward a new deal for women that all women across the country can get involved with. And we're trying to make sure that these issues aren't just side issues or special interest issues, but that people start to recognize that women's issues are issues of national importance for everyone.
So, Ai-jen, typically this sort of, I'm really excited, obviously.
Sorry.
Yeah,
that's great.
So just because you're a woman doesn't necessarily mean that your politics are in alignment, right? So we could fall into a kind of easy identity politics. What sort of work will supermajority do in order to speak across the ideological differences that make up the supermajority, as you understand it?
Absolutely. Well, we spent the last year going from community to community, rural, urban, suburban, from Ohio to Alabama, and what we found was it was incredibly inspiring to see the ways in which these issues were starting to emerge. And it's everything from childcare, how we're going to take care of our families and afford childcare and elder care, to how we're going to pay the bills when women are working incredibly hard and still not able to make ends meet because so many of us are working in minimum wage jobs without benefits or getting paid less for the same work. All of these issues, you can see them start to emerge as an agenda that actually delivers on equality. And it's really about values. It's about the values that are underneath the kind of democracy and future we want. So we're going to have this agenda. We're going to crowdsource it from women all over the country, and then we're going to be uplifting it throughout for the next 18 months.
Eddie gets to a good point, though, because this kind of movement could be seen as basically a democratic movement, a more progressive liberal movement. Are you going to make specific steps to outreach towards Republican conservative women as well?
Well, we absolutely believe that women's equality is a universal value, but women are not a monolith, as you said, Willie. I think it's important to understand. So we are absolutely focused on organizing women to fight for women's equality, economic, social, cultural, and in government. And so I think and what I'm seeing, and the interesting thing, and I think all of us have seen, is that there are so many women now who've never been involved in issues. They've never been involved in campaigns. They are volunteering. They're starting new organizations all across the country because they actually don't agree with the direction that this government is going, and they want to change that. So I think there is a huge opportunity to engage women who have never been engaged before. It's interesting. I thought, as an organizer, we would find out that women were just sort of burnt out and tired. That's absolutely the opposite. What we're finding is women are fired up. As Alicia said, they were 54% of the voters in November, and I think they will be in 2020 as well.
All right, the new group is Supermajority. Cecile Richards, Alicia Garza, Asian Poo. Thank you all very much for being on. Come back. Love this. And this week at knowyourvalue.com, we're talking all about risk-taking, what it means to trust your gut, take a leap, maybe make a big bet to elevate your career, or join Supermajority. It's all in my newest book, Earn It, which comes out soon, May 7th, actually. It's an essential manual to help young women chart their course, invest, and advocate for themselves right from the start. Go to knowyourvalue.com to pre-order your copy right now. And still ahead this morning, we talked to the number 2 Democrat in the Senate, Dick Durbin, who's recently back from the southern border. We'll get his take on what's happening there and discuss the deadly synagogue shooting in California and the fresh scrutiny President Trump is facing over his record on white nationalism.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.